Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy Jamar, Top Shelf Sports Talk, live this time in living color. Getting ready to talk some Eagles versus Bucks, week 3 matchups, and more. So, with that being said, man, this is my first live on this platform, and I'm hoping you guys, be a part of it. Join in. Let's talk some football. You know, have a good time enjoying ourselves while we talk this game we love. Because we all are. If you're on here, we are Eagles fans. We love Eagles. We talk nothing but Eagles, and we want to see them win the Super Bowl this year under our guy Jalen Hurts. So with that being said, even though this is my first live, my first solo live, on my platform, I have a guest that I want to bring in with you guys. My guy Tyrone Brown Jr. from First and Goal Sports. Guy's been a football fanatic for years. He's a good friend of mine. He's been a good football fanatic for years. He's bragging about how he won 2 fantasy football championships, so he knows what he's talking about when it comes to football. So with that being said, man, I'm bringing my guy Tyrone Brown Jr. in. Y'all welcome him, and let's get this party started. You know.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Ty here. You already know what's happening here. First and Goal Sports. This is what we do. Sports, all day, every day, 365 days a year. Football, basketball, baseball, even a little bit of that sport we don't really watch too much, hockey.
Yep.
So I'm just happy Jamar brought me in. I'm looking forward to this. I've been waiting for it all week. Let's get started, man.
All right, man. We're gonna get started with this week 3. I'm sorry, I'm in week 1. I don't know what I'm talking about. Week 3 matchup with the Eagles versus Bucks. I said this when I did a video a couple weeks ago, a couple months, well, right before the season started. I think the Eagles should have started 5-0, right? So we already 2-0, meaning that the Bucks game here to me is kind of a no brainer right now. Like I almost think that the Eagles, even though they didn't show us what we needed to see for the first 2 games, I think the rhythm and how the game is going to be called, Brian Johnson is going to be a lot better in this game coming up on week 3. Tell me your thoughts.
Okay. I agree with you. The one thing about our fan base, and it's true every year, we get a little uncomfortable with everything that's going on. And what I mean by that is, yes, we are having a slow start, but you got to remember, new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator. It's going to take time, but everybody needs to relax a little bit. And this is why I say that. Even with the slow start and not playing our best football, C- at best, we are still 2-0.
Right.
That's what matters. Just like Jalen said, the only thing that matters is winning. And I know after watching football for years on years that eventually everything is going to start to level out, and you'll start to see the Eagles start playing their best football as the season progresses. It's just a matter of time.
Right. You know what? I agree with that, but here's my question about it. Like, we ain't the only team that got new coordinators, offensively and defensively. And you're seeing guys, gel right off the bat. Like, what's the slow progression with us when it comes to, because we got a good defensive team, we got a good offensive team. Why is it seeming like it's not gelling as fast as maybe other guys? And I don't want to rush it. I'm not trying to rush it. I'm just saying, like, the way we played week 1 and week 2, I think after playing week 1, you should have been a lot more cohesive going into week 2. To me, is there's like I don't know. Maybe you can help me out because I don't know why there's slow progression when we got a new offensive coordinator, and that's the same court. He's calling the same plays that we had last year. So
Okay.
what's
I
the what,
mean, the only thing I could really think of would be from what I'm seeing is from week 1 to week 2, you lost 3 defensive starters. So that's going to matter especially in the secondary that has new pieces. Devontae Maddox tore his pec in the first quarter. So now you lose your starting nickel. You lose Bradbury. Your other starting corner. Then you lose Blankership. That's your starting safety. And then you lose N'Kobe Dean. That's your starting middle linebacker who actually calls the plays for your defense.
Mhm.
So when you put all those things in perspective, you can see why the Eagles struggled in the second half of that game to keep winning. And as far as the offense goes, like Jason Kelsey was saying, defenses are doing some unconventional things to keep everything in front of them, and they're trying to adjust to what the NFL is trying to do to them now. Before
Right.
they were playing them a certain way last year. Now defenses are playing them a different way. So now they have to adjust to how defenses are playing them now. Bill Belichick started at week one.
Right. I can agree with the way they are playing defense. I mean, on the offense, but it's just like some of it was to me it was too much passing the ball, wasn't enough running. But you see what happened in that week two matchup. You know, when you started running the ball, you got 7, 8 yards a carry. You know what I mean? That should be. And you brought four running backs in there. You didn't start with Rashard Penny that first game against the Patriots, but you got running backs for a reason. So why not use them for what you brought them in for? You know, when you played last week against the Vikings, you saw what DeAndre Swift was doing. You saw every time you gave him the ball was positive yardage. I mean, to me, it's like we're overthinking too much when it comes to this play calling, and it's like we're not like you said. If we're going to simplify, take what the defense give us, run the ball. Once they take run the run game away, now you start airing it out. So I think they was to me in the offensively, and I understand your point defensively because defensively we lost a lot of players, but offensively, I mean we haven't lost anybody, but it seemed like we're struggling on offense to get to move the ball and score points. Now defense, I mean we scoring, but I mean like defense has let us down a couple times. You know what I mean? They didn't get stops when they needed to get stops, but I think it feels like we're struggling a little bit on offense. Like the cohesiveness is not there right now. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you tell me what you think.
Well, you gotta remember something too. This is Brian Johnson's first year play calling. Even though he's calling the same plays, there's a feel for the game that you have to get when you calling plays. And this is your first time. Yes, the Eagles have weapons: Goddard, Brown, Devontae, Swift, Gainwell, Penny. The list goes on. A great offensive line. It still takes time to see what the defenses are trying to do to you. Because what's happening is Jason Kelsey said it best. He said what they're doing is they're rushing three, but they're playing like a zone. What is it? He said they're playing zero. So normally in zero, it's man coverage all the way through, but they're playing zero with a zone behind it, which is weird. AJ said he caught a pass over the middle, which normally in zero, you'd be able to catch it and run, but there was a linebacker there and he took a big hit. So what the Eagles and Brian Johnson are trying to figure out how to beat this new coverage that NFL teams have given them before. They never seen this coverage before. It's brand new. AJ said it's brand new. Devontae said it's brand new. So I think eventually you'll get to the explosive plays that we had last year. I do agree with you. We got to run the ball more. I just think it's going to take a little bit more patience just to understand what these teams are doing to you on offense. So that way Brian Johnson can get a better feel for the game. And his play calling has to be better. You can't call a quarterback draw at the goal line on third down. You can't do that. You got to let Jalen throw the ball there. So play calling is an issue, but if we remember last year real quick, when Sirianni had that 11 days off after that Thursday night game before, they came back and they were more balanced, they were more explosive, and they figured it out. So I'm interested to see how they come out tomorrow as well. Especially the Bucs defense is pretty good, so we'll get a good test.
Yeah, their Bucks defense is real good. So we're gonna see what happens tomorrow night. What are you predicting as tomorrow night as what you think is going to happen? What's your predictions?
I think the Eagles win. I think they run. I think the Bucs don't have enough to beat us. I think Baker Mayfield, while he is playing fiery football right now, I just think the Eagles are the better team.
Right.
And when they run the football, they're going to play defense. They're going to make Baker Mayfield beat them. And I don't think Baker Mayfield can beat the Eagles. I just don't think he can, especially with Bradbury coming back and you get Blankenship back. That's going to that's going to add some cohesiveness in the secondary. That's what you need. And I got to see what they're going to do at slot corner without Devontae. I don't know. Some rumors have it that they're going to slide Bradbury in the middle and then have maybe the guy Eli Ricks or what's the guy Joe on the outside, Jacoby on the outside. So we'll see how that goes.
Wasn't they talking about having Bradbury in the middle throughout the training camp?
Yeah, they was. They
Yeah,
was.
I thought
But
I saw.
can he hang with you know how the slot is though? It's more of the faster guys. I don't know
Right.
if Bradbury can handle the more twitchy guys. He's
Yeah.
a big to me, Bradbury reminds me of Bobby Teller, big cornerback outside, you know.
He's definitely got burnt a couple times in them joint practices, and especially when they went against the Colts. You know,
Right.
it was like a double move, and that receiver was gone. I think it was Pittman that just cooked him. I was like, dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so that's going to be interesting to see. Me personally, what I'm looking forward to seeing tomorrow night is more, like you said, of a balanced attack.
Yeah.
I'm looking to see. I don't want to see the tush push a lot, as especially on the goal line. I think you should give it to your running back. You know, I think that should be one of the things you do. Um, I'm also looking for our defense to, like, especially our front four, to get after that quarterback. I want Hassan Reddick to get home a little bit more too, get more pressure. Um,
Right.
because I think that we got a dominant defense, and like you said, Baker Mayfield, he can't do enough to beat us. He's not going to do enough to beat us. You know, we got a good defense, so I want to see that. Get into get better. You know, what I mean, get a little bit more progressive, and I want. I, I mean, even though this is kind of like far fetched, I want to see, I guess, a shutout. You know what I mean? Even though I don't, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I want to see that because I think our defense is that good. Now we do have injuries on our defense, but I still think that even with the injuries, we still are that good, and we should be able to, you know, stop them from doing anything that they want to do. Now I know Michael, what's his name, Mike Evans and Goodwin, Chris Godwin. They're two good receivers, so that they're going to give us some trouble. But we got to be able to get pressure. If we can get pressure on Baker Mayfield, get him to do some, throw some interceptions and uh, you know, just do things that he ain't normally used to doing, I think we should be good.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. It's going to be a big it's going to be a big test, but we have to see what happens. I mean, football is so unpredictable. The Eagles are better on paper, but they are going to Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield is trying to make a name for himself, but I don't think the Bucs can run the football against the Eagles. That's what I think. I don't think Baker Mayfield can beat the Philadelphia Eagles. I really don't. Honestly, I think we beat them like 30-17 or something like that. I just don't think the Bucs have enough to beat a good Eagles football team. And even though we're struggling, the Eagles are still better than
Yeah,
the Buccaneers.
I think they said the Eagles only allow 52 yards rushing so far in the first two games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean that's going to be a good key factor to us being able to win this game. We have a little difficulty. My guy Tyrone, it went off a minute. Hold on, here he comes. Let me get him back in here. You back?
Yep.
Is your screen? I think it's frozen or something. I don't know if that's on my end or
Yeah, I got you frozen on my end.
yeah. We having a little difficulties right now. I don't know what's going on, but hopefully the people out there can hear us. Whoever's listening. So
Yeah.
we obviously we got the Eagles winning. You got them winning 30-17. I got them winning. I'm gonna say 34-10.
Oh,
Um,
wow, you got the Bucks 10. Okay. All right. You got the
yeah,
Eagles dominating.
I'm going with a total domination of this team, man. Like I just think that the way we are constructed, especially defensively, I think it's just, and this is, I don't want to sound like I'm biased and being like a biased Eagles fan. I just think that we just are we're too dominant. We're too, like, our defense is way better than their offense is concerned. Like, we can put pressure on them. We got the players to get home to cause disruption. I just think we're just better than them overall. So that's why I'm looking for a dominant performance. Now, once
Right.
we get to the meat and bones of the schedule, the San Fran's, the Dallases, the Buffalo Bills, Kansas Cities, like, obviously it's gonna be a lot tighter because those guys are, they're football players. It's a football team there. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be tighter when you get to those type of games. But with that first 5 games of the season, those teams are teams that are in, like, pretty much rebuilding stages, and, like, I don't think can, they should be really in the same category as us because of how we are built.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I get what you're saying, and I don't have no disagreement. I think the Eagles are. I'm with you on that. Are just much better than the Bucks, especially our defensive line matching up with their offensive line. I mean, our defensive line matching up with their offensive line, and I think our offensive line matching up with their defensive line is much better. I
Right.
think it's a mismatch on both sides. I mean, the one thing that Andy Reid taught us, even though he was stubborn, you win in the trenches. That's it. And the Eagles are better on both sides in the trenches against the Bucks.
Right.
To me, it's not even close right now, honestly.
Right. Exactly. Tell me this. What do you who do you see who you see standing out and being like the player of the game? I'm gonna say. Who's
I
your
see
player?
AJ Brown having a big game, and I see Jalen Carter probably having another big game, dominating.
That's I'm glad you said Jalen Carter, man. I want to see him dominate. Like I want to see him. I thought he was, I thought he was going to get to Mac Jones at least 2 times that first game. He got it to him once, but I thought he was going to get to him two plus. I was telling people to be over on the 2.5 on Jalen Carter. But I want to see him really take that step and dominate because even Jordan Davis is like he's a beast and he's looking like it now. Like
Yeah, he's another one. He's another one. Them Georgia boys, man, they tough.
yeah, man. Like it's like we the Philadelphia Bulldogs, man. So like I'm looking to see those two just wreak some havoc on Baker Mayfield with when Baker
And
Mayfield try to scramble, I'm looking to see my man Hassan Reddick, go crazy, you know.
you know who's been quiet? Nolan Smith.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I'm saying that just wait. Just wait.
Right.
He
You know what?
another one. He
You know
another one.
you know what pissed me off last game against the Vikings? It was times that Hassan Reddick wasn't on the field and neither was Nolan Smith. I'm like, they like 1-2. Take if you taking Hassan
Nah,
out.
but you gotta remember they got Jake, but you gotta remember they got Josh Sweat, my boy. You know what I mean?
I,
They got Josh Sweat out there. They got BG as well. So they got depth on the ends and the defensive tackle. So even though they're not out there, they still really don't miss a beat with those two guys coming in.
yeah, I feel you. Yeah, I feel that. I just want that 1-2. Like if one go out, the other one come in. Like I don't know. I want that 1-2, man. Like that's what I want. You know what I mean? Like I want to see that happen. You know what I mean?
No,
But
I mean I get it, but I can't really argue. I can't really fuss about the rotation, especially when you got basically four starting defensive ends.
right, right. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow night, and hopefully we go from there. My other key to this game is I think I want to see like we talked about earlier, a balanced attack with Jalen Hurts and the offense, but I want to see more. I guess not the dinking and dunking. I'm trying to figure out the proper way. I want to see him just take what they give him, but keep them, I guess, at bay to where as though they don't they can't because I don't want you like it was a lot of force feeding in that Viking game. You went to Goddard a lot in the beginning, then you started forcing it to AJ Brown. I want to see it like whereas though you're actually reading the defense and taking what they're giving you and going with the open man, the open guy. I don't want to see you forcing it.
Well, that's what I think. That's what I think comes with time and play calling. Because even though, like you was talking about, Brian Johnson's still brand new, so we got to get a feel for the game. I honestly think that if teams are going to play three down linemen, what you should do is a lot of wide receiver screens. To me,
Right,
that's what I think you should do and make them honest.
right, right. Well, I mean that it's going to be interesting either way. Like so we both got the Eagles winning. Obviously, you got them 30-17. You said right, and I got them 34-10. Um, but so we got them starting out the season 3-0. Now, um,
Since we're a little further, I'm a I'm gonna switch to my avatar, make it a little better for everybody.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. This freezing. I'm not sure if it's my signal or you know what I mean.
Well, I mean, we got bad weather, so I mean, at the end of the day, it could be anything. It could be either one of us. So
Right.
you really can't pinpoint because on my end, I can see me talking, but I can't see you talking on your end. But I'm sure you can see yourself talking on your end, but me frozen on your end, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I mean, we just keep. I mean, keep going, try to figure it out. That's all. Just keep it going. Ain't
All
nothing we
right.
can really do.
So we're gonna get to. I want to start into the matchups for week 3 lineup.
Okay. If
Um.
you if, if you want, all you got to do is stop your cam, push stop cam, and then you can just it'll switch to the avatar, and that way people can still hear us, but they won't have to look at the frozenness and stuff. You see, I just switched to my avatar.
Yeah. Mine says stop mic and cam.
No, it should be at the bottom. Just stop mic. It should be just stop cam. Stop
Oh.
cam.
Yeah. I ain't got my avatar up there. Am I still frozen on your end though?
No, I could. No, you good to go now.
All right. I'm gonna leave it like that for a minute. We have to work the kinks out next time. Um. So 1 o'clock, Tennessee at Cleveland. Um. Cleveland got a good defense. Cleveland's defense is pretty tight. Um, that doesn't mean that Derrick Henry ain't gonna run all run all over you. I
Right.
just I just I'm confused with Tennessee in the fact of I guess I'm not really understanding their offense. You know what I mean? Like I'm not really understanding how it really. I mean, I guess I think they have a poor offensive line, but I'm not really understanding their offense because you got DeAndre Hopkins out there, and I'm not sure why. It doesn't see I don't know if I missed it, but I don't think he's been that big of a impression in their offense. What are you seeing?
Well, as far as like the biggest thing is how does Cleveland respond if losing Chubb like that?
Right, right.
That's what you're going to look for. I mean, to me, if this guy Jerome Ford can get it done, I think Cleveland has enough weapons to beat Tennessee, and I think Tennessee has enough weapons to beat Cleveland. This is one of those. It's gonna be a close game because they both have. To me, they're the same team almost. Pretty
Right.
good, pretty above average quarterbacks. And when you got Hopkins, the boy Trayvon Burks, then on Cleveland side, you got Cooper with Peoples. It's just a matter of who's gonna make the mistakes. That's how I look at this game. It's so close. Either one of them could pull this out. I mean, I don't even know who to pick right now. Um, if I had to go with it, just because the Browns lost Chubb, I would pick the Titans. But you just never know.
Yeah, you don't it's me me personally, if I'm picking somebody, I think I'm gonna go Titans. Um I think
Okay.
The Nick Chubb injury is a big injury and it's gonna hurt them.
Yes, it
Um
is.
I'm looking to Deshaun Watson still has not gotten into form.
He don't look right. Right? He still don't look right. I agree.
And I was even hearing on ESPN radio they were talking about how they're looking to if what is this Stefanski is his name if he doesn't
Yeah.
get it together, they it's always rumors this early in the season they talking about going after Jim Harbaugh. You know what I mean because they think he would be a better coach for what Deshaun Watson for what they got at quarterback and for that team. Um, but I don't, to me personally, I think that Nick Chubb injury and the way that Deshaun Watson has been playing, I don't see them being as much as a threat that we thought they were coming into the season with a full season of Deshaun Watson. Unless lightning can strike in the bottle, unless he gets it together and gets his play right, then or they change up what they're calling for him. You know what I mean? But he just doesn't look good to me right now. You know.
No, I can't argue with you. But the thing that I'd be also trying to make sure I don't get too caught up in is right now, especially week 2. The NFL is such a long season. We talk about not over till what, the end of January,
Right.
17 weeks. All it takes is a few games to put together, and maybe he'll start clicking. You can't take away from at one point this man was talented enough to was in the MVP race. So something's going on.
Right.
At the end of the day, you just got to wait and see if they can get their run game going. They did sign Kareem Hunt; he's not playing today. But if they get their run game going and make the offense more, what's the word, more easier for him, I think they'll be fine. I think Deshaun Watson is going to be fine during the second half of the season, but we'll see. Because
I,
right now he doesn't look right. He looks like exactly how he left off last year, which is concerning. I agree with you.
I thought they said Kareem Hunt was playing today. Is he not?
No, they said they just signed him. As far as I know, he was a healthy. He would have been a healthy scratch. Like something happened last minute.
Because he played in that offense last year, so it's not much probably knew that he would have to learn. I
No,
guess
but it's from a conditioning and practice
I
standpoint.
was going to say getting in shape. Okay. So
Yeah,
you got who you got? You got Tennessee on that game, or you got
yeah.
Cleveland?
I'm gonna take Tennessee. I'm gonna take Tennessee too.
Tennessee. Okay. So we both got Tennessee. All right. So the next game. Oh man, this is gonna be a good one. That might be a game to watch. Atlanta Falcons at the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
That's a good one there, man. Like, I don't know. I think that's a defensively, because Jesse Bates on the safety on Atlanta he's been playing pretty good. Their defense has been playing pretty good overall. Detroit's defense, we know what they can do. I think Chauncey Gardner got hurt though. I'm not sure. I gotta look that up. I think he was hurt. I know I saw him leave out the game, but I know that defense that Detroit has put together is that they're pretty solid.
No, Detroit got a tough team, but you also got don't sleep on Detroit. Offense. The key to it is St. Brown. They're saying St. Brown has a toe injury and he's questionable to play today. That's going to be a big loss for them. Um, I don't trust Atlanta's quarterback, the guy, what's his name, Ritter.
Yeah.
I don't trust him, especially in Detroit on the road in that hostile environment. I just think Detroit has too much for Atlanta. They are in a rebuilding. They were rebuilding. I mean, even though Bijan Robinson, you got Drake London, Kyle Pitts. These guys are good players, but I just don't trust the quarterback right now. Until Ritter shows me he can be a little more consistent, I'm gonna have to pick Detroit in this game. I think Detroit is just the better team right now.
Well, let me ask you this: Jared Goff, you trust him?
I like Jared Goff in this offense. Jared Goff was. You see Jared Goff numbers last year. Jared Goff is pretty good in this offense.
He is, but let me ask you: when the game is on the line, you trust him to make the right throw?
Yeah, he had a good year last year, even in the tight games. Jared Goff with the Detroit Lions has been a surprise to a lot of people. I like Jared Goff with the Lions, man. I think he's okay. I do.
All right, let me ask you this: was he the issue in the with the Rams? I
I
mean,
don't think I don't think he was the issue. I just think the Rams wanted a surefire talent, and as good as Goff is, Matthew Stafford is better than him. I mean, it is what it is.
he's,
He has a
he's
better arm. He's been in the league longer. He's seen a lot more. I mean, look at Matthew Stafford right now in the beginning of the first 2 games of the season. Even in that game, they lost to the 49ers. Matthew Stafford kept him in that game. They didn't have Cooper Kupp. They could barely run the ball, but he was back there slinging it to that new guy, Papuka and Atwell. These are no-name guys that Matthew Stafford is getting the ball to. So when you really look at it, Matthew Stafford is he's healthy right now. He's playing good football. Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Jared Goff.
all right. So I'm looking at the injury. You believe Detroit is going to win this game, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm looking at Chauncey Gardner is on injury reserve, the safety.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Uh, St. Brown is questionable. Um,
And Montgomery should be out.
they're saying he's doubtful.
Yeah.
So
He's
that's
not going to play.
that's a lot of that's a lot of talent on that's not going to be out there on that field.
Yeah, but you still got Jeremiah Gibbs. You still got the guy. You got the young guy Reynolds, and you still got the other wide receiver too. And you got T.J. Hawkinson over there. They got enough.
All right. I don't know. You going with Atlanta. I mean, you going with Detroit.
Yeah, I'm going with the Lions.
All right, let me say this. Desmond Ritter still got to prove himself. I understand that. I agree with that. Bijan has been a beast, and they got the boy Al Jazeera. That's the other running back
Yes.
who's been balling out too. You still have yet to really see Kyle Pitts come into form. Drake London has been balling. Um, so it's hard for me right now to say that I'm in that game. I'm gonna go with the Atlanta Falcons because I believe the Falcons has. I think the Detroit Lions just have too many injuries to, or especially defensively, to be able to stop them. And I think it's probably going to if if Atlanta can play solid defense, which you can say that about any team, but if Atlanta can play solid defense, I see Atlanta being able to outscore them.
Okay. I don't know, man. I mean, because I hear what you're saying. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on this one, man. Um, because I hear what you're saying about Atlanta, and Drake London had his first good game. The first game of the season, he didn't have no catches.
Last week
So
was the first good game, yeah.
last week he had a good game. I'm just saying that the Detroit team at home, that defense, Cutchinson, I'm saying I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna touch bases about it. But I'm definitely taking the Lions.
It's definitely going to be a good game. It's definitely not going to be something like I'm not saying like I'm not going to say it's a blowout. It's probably
Oh
like
no, no, I get what you're saying. I get what
yeah,
you're
like a
saying.
field goal. This I mean like a 2017 type game. But I just think that Atlanta will get that one done. What I mean over Detroit.
Okay.
Didn't Detroit they lost last week, right? Yeah, they lost on a I think in overtime. I think they lost.
Yeah.
So, that is something to watch too because they're coming off a loss. They're gonna be hungry, ready to go. So we'll see what happens with that. But you got Detroit. Any score prediction you got for them?
Yeah, I got Detroit winning 27-20.
Oh, you got some points being scored. Okay. I got it more of a 17-14 type game.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, um, so I think it's gonna be tight, but I got a 17-14. All right, so we're gonna go on to this is another good one too. New Orleans and Green Bay. What's your thoughts first?
New Orleans, Green Bay. Um, that guy Jordan Love has surprised a lot of people, man.
Yeah, he
He
damn sure
surprised
has.
a lot of people. Um, that's a tough game, but I'm going to take the Packers at home against the Saints. I
Oh,
don't trust Derek Carr right now,
and
and when Kamara comes back next week, then I think Derek Carr will be a lot better. But until the Saints can run the ball, I don't think they got enough to beat Green Bay in Green Bay.
is Kamara? Isn't this the third? This the third
No,
week? Oh,
yeah.
after
So he plays week 4.
yeah, week 4 after this week. So yeah, I mean that's gonna be kind of they got an explosive offense, man. Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, put Kamara back there. As long as Derek Carr can be consistent and not I guess force balls in places that shouldn't be thrown to. I
That's
think
what I mean.
that's
And
gonna
see,
be.
I don't trust him right now.
You don't trust him in that?
I don't trust Derek Carr right now, especially after that last game against the Carolina Panthers when that should have been one of his best games, and he didn't even throw a touchdown in that game.
Yeah. But Carolina, mm, they're not. I mean, they're not no dominant defense. They got a good defense. They got a good front four. They lost.
Yeah, true, but at the same time, they're a young rebuilding team. You're not supposed to let them have you're not supposed to let them stay in the game like that when it's close like that, especially when you got a defense like the Saints got, because they had plenty of opportunities because the Saints defense was all over them.
Right, right, right. Okay, so you're going. You said you're going Green Bay.
Yeah.
What's your score prediction?
Oh man, I got Green Bay winning probably 20-17, something like that.
All right. Me, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna go. New Orleans, and I don't want you to think that I'm going opposite of everything that you say. Um,
No, no, you know what though? That's fine.
I'm
Listen, if you pick a different squad, look, that's fine. That's what this is about, right? It's sports talk, debate show.
right,
We just
right.
having a good time. It don't matter.
I'm going to go green. What I say? New Orleans. I'm going New Orleans. I just think that you get that ball moved around a lot with those receivers that they got out there on that team. Um, and I think Derek Carr, as time goes on, he's going to get more comfortable as time goes on. So I think that New Orleans team is better than what a lot of people thought. I think a lot of people thought that especially that NFC South was going to struggle a lot, but they're out there showing. I think that New Orleans team is out there showing you that they real. And once they get Kamara back, I think they're going to be even better. So I'm saying the New Orleans is going to win that game.
All right.
Um, and I got the score. Mm, I'm gonna say 24-21.
Okay.
I
Okay.
mean, Jordan Love has definitely. I mean, he spent what 4 years behind Aaron Rodgers, so he definitely learned a lot. I think he's definitely proved a lot of people wrong coming into the season. You know what I mean? I think he's got nothing but the ceiling to get better. Um, I personally didn't think that he would, be this good this early. I thought he would struggle a little bit because, it's one thing from being a backup to going to being a starter. And so I just think that, he
And
he
think about this. Think about this. He had, and they've been playing without Christian Watson too. He said he'll be back next week. So that you give him Dobbs, Musgrave, then Aaron Jones come back, AJ Dillon. I'm telling you that Green Bay team, man, they I don't know. I'm just saying.
they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. I definitely say that, but
Yeah.
I don't think they can hang with this New Orleans team right now. Not in the future, but right now.
Yeah, I don't trust Derek Carr. That's my issue with the New Orleans Saints. Until Derek Carr shows me he can start putting up numbers consistently, like he was doing with the Raiders, I don't trust him.
Yeah, but he's done. He's all right. So the last game, he had one bad game. The last game, but the first
No,
first
the first game he had a bad game too. He only had one touchdown and one interception in the first game.
yeah, how many yards? Let's see.
Like 187 or something. It's terrible.
Terrible. Okay. All right. All right.
He hasn't been. I know what kind of quarterback David Carr is. He hasn't shown that yet, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
I got what you're saying. I just at this point right now, I just think that he's obviously. I mean, he's got more experience than Jordan Love, but I think he can. He's a little bit better. Like you said though, he still has to prove it. I understand what you're saying. Um, but we gonna see when it comes to that game. So
Yeah.
you got Green Bay, and I got New Orleans in that game. So let's go to this is gonna be a blowout. Denver at Miami. Oh man, Miami.
Denver at Miami.
Yeah, that's
Um, yeah, I don't see. I mean, Denver has a good defense, man, and the Broncos are not a bad team. It just it's dependent. They gonna have to run the football and keep Miami off the field. That's how you beat a squad like that.
yeah, but Miami has a good defense.
Yeah, they do. They do. I can't argue that. They do.
I don't
I
understand
mean,
how can you keep them off the field? You know what I mean? When that's gonna be tough. You're asking a lot for that team to keep them off the field. You know what I mean?
yeah, I agree. I
Because
don't think they can. I said the only way you can beat a team like that is to keep them off the field. I mean, Sean Payton is the offensive coordinator, but I don't trust Russell, man. I got Miami winning that game, man. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout though.
yeah, no. You said you don't think it's gonna be a blowout?
No, I got Miami winning probably like 34-20, something like that.
30. That's on the verge of a blowout. I got Denver winning that game. I mean, Miami winning that game too.
Okay. Okay.
I got it more of a blowout because, and let me ask you this before I get to that. I want to ask you: is this all Russ' fault, or because I was looking at that game last week against when they was playing the Commanders? He has nobody blocking for him. Like, how can you really perform if you don't have time to perform. Like you're asking a guy to go out there and be Russ from Seattle, but Russ from Seattle had an offensive line. Like how can you do that without no, good offensive line?
All right, so the rumor is this. The rumor is the reason he got traded to Denver in the first place is because he's been more focused on his brand in football. Before the season even started, Sean Payton told him he needed to stop kissing effing babies and focus on being an NFL quarterback again. So it's not so much. I don't think Russ. I don't. I just people don't think Russ is committed to the game as he was before, and that's the issue. So Russ is the issue because if you're not committed to the game and you got other things going on outside the game, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a huge problem, and that's what they're basing it on. He's not committed to the game.
You know, the only thing I can challenge and say is that Russ been doing that since year one. You know what I mean? The first year he's been in Seattle, he was at the hospital every Tuesday on their off days, kissing babies and being a presence in the community. And then like I know nobody's knocking him for it, but they want him to concentrate on football. But he's won one Super Bowl, or did he win? He won one Super Bowl, went back to another one the next year. Um, me personally, I think what's happening to Russ for me is that they got a good defense. I mean, they got a good Denver team as far as offensively. They don't have no running back that's consistent, but their receivers are pretty good. They suffered a lot of injuries in their receiving core. But I just think the offensive line ain't shit. Ooh, excuse my language, but I don't think the offensive line ain't good at all. And when you have a bad offensive line, you're asking Russ to go out and perform on a high caliber, on an all-star level, MVP type level, but you're not blocking them. I mean, don't get it wrong. I know the Commanders got a good front four. Their front four is probably
Yeah, it's probably top five.
yeah.
Top.
And it's I mean you can't just say that like, yeah, you can block those guys and Russ should be able to make magic, but I I just don't think that he's given the support that he needs because of this. Oh, he's only concerned of his brand. I just think that that's kind
Well,
of
here's an unforeseen thing. Here's a stat that's out there. Before Russell Wilson signed his contract, he was in the playoffs, in the MVP race, in the Super Bowl. Since he signed his contract and been more focused on the brand, they say he's had his worst career as a quarterback and has been losing badly, even before they traded him to Seattle. And this is with DK Metcalf, that great running game he had, Tyler Lockett, and then they traded him because they believe he just don't have the feel. He just doesn't have the drive for the game no more. When
but
people throw out stats like that with your money, it shows that maybe he's not as hungry as he was before.
but
That's
with that being
possible.
said, I think that I just don't agree. We can agree to disagree on that because even when that happened, like even in that Seattle when he was in Seattle when he first started having this decline in his play, I think that they did lose a couple offensive linemen. They lost Marshawn Lynch. His he was taking a lot of pressure off of him. They didn't really get a good running back until I think they drafted was it Penny first? I think it was Penny first. They drafted Penny. That's when it was like 2 years in a row without a solid running back that could take the pressure off of him. And he lost I think one of those years he lost a receiver before DK came. So I mean, to me, I mean, I understand it. I'm not going to sit here and say that I put the whole blame on Russ. I think in this situation, like I mean, obviously Russ was out there scoring. You know, what I mean, against the Commanders, they lost what was the final score of that game? I mean, Russ put up like 20 something points.
Yeah, he caught that. He caught that. Remember, he caught 27 points, but he also got that 27 point on that Hail Mary too. Don't forget.
No, but even still, that's true. That's true. But the defense didn't stop it. Stop them. I mean, I don't know how you feel about the Commanders. Me personally, I don't think the Commanders are good at all. But and
I
we're gonna
think the Commanders' defense is really good. I just think their offense is terrible.
right. And
And
so
that's and but at the same time, the Commanders do have Eric Bieniemy as the offensive coordinator. So Tony, and they got Scary Terry, Johnson, Brian Robinson, Gibson, Logan Thomas at tight end. I just think it's a matter of time before they turn things around. But they have a question mark too at quarterback. Sam Howell. Is
Right.
he going to be able to turn around? To me, he's in the same spot that we talked about Atlanta with the guy Ritter.
Okay.
Until these young guys show they can be consistent and get the ball to the playmakers and tough moments, this is what we're going to go through every week.
Right. Right. Okay. Um, we're gonna see. So we both got Miami in that game. I got them. I got Miami more of on a blowout. Because I just think they just way too better than Denver. Um,
Okay.
I'm going in that game. Like I'm gonna say 27-7 in that game.
Woo.
I got them.
Okay.
All right. So our next game, Minnesota. I mean, the LA Chargers against Minnesota Vikings. What you got?
LA Chargers, Minnesota Vikings.
And the
Ooh,
Chargers
boy.
lost last week too, I think. Yeah, they lost last week.
I think the Chargers are 0-2, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah.
Minnesota's 1-1. They're coming off that loss against us. Uh, Interesting. I think the Chargers beat Minnesota.
Yes. I
I
agree.
think the Chargers beat Minnesota. I don't think Minnesota has enough on defense. I think that's what the issue was with the Eagles. I mean, if you look at it, just Minnesota just doesn't have enough on defense. Of course, they got JJ and all them guys on offense, but they don't have enough on defense. I just think that, and plus, the Chargers are desperate, man. They lost 2 games. I don't see them losing 3 in a row. I just don't see them losing, especially to Minnesota. I don't trust nothing about Minnesota.
Yeah. I agree. Only thing I do trust about Minnesota is Justin Jefferson. That's it.
Well, of course. I mean, JJ's a dog.
Yeah.
He a dog, man.
That's
Other
it.
than that, man, I was like, all right, what else? You
Yeah.
know?
There's not too much over there that I'm gonna say that I can hang my hat on and say, yeah. I trust this part of that team. Now,
Nope,
just
nope.
it. You know what I mean?
That's one of these quick ones. This is a quick one here. I got the Chargers winning this one.
It's a quick one. I got the Chargers too. I got the Chargers winning 24-10.
24-10. I don't. I got them. See, Minnesota's one of those garbage teams, so they'll make it. They'll make it interesting.
Okay. So
Like
you
30-20. I'm thinking.
okay. All right. Well, yeah. Okay, I can go with that. So we both got the Chargers on that.
Yes.
Next game, New England at the Jets.
Ooh. Now see, I would have picked the Jets if you know who didn't get hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I got to pick the Patriots, man, because Zach Wilson is trash.
He is trash. He's a deer in headlights. I think they should go out and sign another quarterback because they got
Yep.
offense to be able to make some noise. But Zach Wilson ain't going. You can't. I don't think you're going to breed toughness or the game into him. He just doesn't have it. You know what I mean?
No, he's trash.
Yeah.
He's trash, man.
But you know what? In all honesty, though, you said you picking the Patriots on that. Patriots
Yes.
got the defense. They do, and it's going to be hard for Zach Wilson to really do enough to win the game. But I think their defense does a lot to win this game.
True. And you know what's crazy? I agree with you. But I just think that Zach Wilson puts the defense in like the Cowboy game.
Mm-hmm.
Go back to last week. I believe the Jets defense gets it done, right? But you
Right.
can't be on the field 3 times. You know, Zach Wilson had 3 interceptions last week. If you put the Jets, I don't care who you are, you're great, but we're still human. After a while, everybody wear down. And the Patriots have a run game. They
Right.
got a run game. They got Stevenson. And they can throw the ball. They got what's the young boy? Bourne. They have
They got Bourne.
Parker, right? And Juju, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got Hurts at tight end. Man, they got us. Man, the Patriots are tough. And I seen them firsthand. We seen them firsthand. Okay.
Right. You know what? That game even surprised me because, like I said, I never realized that they were a top 8 defense last year.
Yes. I
I
had them in fantasy last year.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that at all.
You know what it is? We don't see them because it's New England. So we really don't see them.
Right.
Unless we play them. So we don't really keep no track on them. But They have a really good defense, and Bill Belichick is the evil. He's the evil genius, man.
But did you hear what Kraft said about the evil genius?
Nah.
He basically said he ain't gonna tolerate no more, too many more seasons of losing. So is the evil genius on the hot seat after this year if they don't make it?
Uh, Probably, but I see them getting into the playoffs. I
You
don't
think?
think the thing about that squad. They're not better than Buffalo, and they're not better than Miami. That's the thing.
Okay. All
That's
right.
that's they're in that rock and the hard place division
Okay.
because Buffalo's good, Miami's good, and then if you go over to the other divisions, Baltimore's tough. Then you got Kansas City. Even though the Chargers are 0-2, they're tough. So it's really hard to win. They're not
Okay.
in the spot to win. There's too many good AFC teams.
All right. Okay. Respectable. So with that game, I'm taking the Jets, and I'm taking the Jets.
Ooh, you taking the Jets? Okay.
The Jets. I'm going Jets, and I'm going like 10-7 defensively.
Wow. Okay. All right. We're gonna go with that 10-7. All right, cool. I got the Patriots.
Yeah. What's your score?
I got the Patriots winning 24-10.
Okay. 24-10. All right. So next game, Buffalo at Washington.
That's a tough game.
You know what?
That's a tough game.
It is because we
It's
talked
a
about
tough
that.
game.
It is a tough game with the defense. I believe Buffalo wins this, convincingly.
Mm. Okay.
I believe they win it convincingly because I don't think Buffalo's defense is going to allow Sam Howell to have those big plays that he did at the end. Now, you talked about a few minutes ago Eric Bieniemy being their offensive coordinator. Um, he's definitely done enough. I mean, because what they 1-1 to
Mhm.
you know
And they should have probably won the first game.
who I can't remember who they played week one. Um, but see, a good defense, like, all right, so put it like this: a more experienced NFL team other than Denver. Denver is, I don't know what's Denver's problem, but Buffalo is not going to let this team, if they're up 20 to nothing or 21-0. I don't see Buffalo defense allowing this team to come back to win a game or even be
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Sean McDermott they're a well coached team.
yes.
I agree with you there.
So and I think Josh Allen is at a point in his career where he's still proving himself. If you understand what I mean, like it's not that he, not that he's no people doubting him, but I think he's struggling with like being more consistent and being that threat that everybody knows he is. I think sometimes he tries a little too hard and it ends up in bad plays. But I think that Josh Allen is on a mission to show that, like, yeah, I'm going to do it now. I'm going to start now and get it done. So I think that, me personally, I believe that the Buffalo Bills will win this game convincingly.
Okay. Um, I got Buffalo winning, but I don't got them winning convincingly. I got it like maybe like 30-27. I think it's gonna be a close game. I think Washington is a lot better than what we give them credit for. And I think Buffalo, the thing that kills it with Buffalo, Josh Allen, as good as he is, he's still the Achilles heel sometimes. He still puts his teams in bad situations with some of his decision making
Right.
and his don't want to lose attitude all the time in every situation. Like last week, he tried to jump over a pile from the 5 yard line. I'm like, bro, what you doing? So his mindset sometimes questions why Buffalo some don't go to where they need to go. I'm gonna
Right.
pick the Commanders on this one in a
You,
close one.
oh, you going Commanders?
Yeah,
You what? You hold on. Let me make sure you go. What? You going Commanders?
yeah. I'm
Oh
going.
man. Okay, let me change it. I thought I had you down for the Bills.
Yep.
Okay, what's your score?
I got the Commanders winning a close one, something like 34-30, something like that.
34-30 Commanders. Oh, wow. If you know what? If Buffalo loses this game, it's going to be a lot of question marks over there in that organization, man. Not saying that because we agree that Washington has a good front four. They got a good defense, but you should not lose to a team like the Commanders right now
I hear you.
with Sam Howell as the quarterback. Like, I mean, I'm not making light of him. He's an NFL player. He's an NFL quarterback. But I'm just saying,
He's a good young quarterback.
yeah,
He's in that same situation Ritter's in,
yeah. But
and he can run.
y-
Keep it
y-
keep that
yeah,
in mind. He got legs too. Keep that in mind. I'm just saying.
but see,
I'm
the
just
only
saying.
difference between him and like Desmond Ritter is Desmond Ritter played last year, started last year. You know what I mean? He got a little bit more experience than Sam Howell. And that's the only thing that's hurting Sam Howell is just the experience of being a starting NFL quarterback. You know what I mean? I'm not saying he can't be the quarterback for Washington. Honestly, I don't really care if he is, but I just think his experience is not there to be able to win a game like this.
Okay.
So you going Washington, I'm going the Bills on that one. And I said I got them convincingly, so I got the Bills. I'm gonna say the Bills 21-7.
Okay.
All right. So
All right.
damn, that's a you in Washington. Oh man. All right, so moving on, I got Houston at Jacksonville.
I mean, when it comes to this, I can't be biased because I'm an Eagle fan. I got to call it like I believe it. I believe the Commanders will beat them.
No, I'm not being biased. I just don't like Washington has a good defense. I just don't think they're
They
talented.
have weapons on offense.
They
Terry
do.
McLaurin, Terry McLaurin's healthy. Johnson, I'm just saying, they not no pushovers. I'm just telling you.
All right. All right. Well, I'm gonna text you during this game and let you know whether your prediction was right or wrong.
I will, hey, look, you got me. Just hit me up in the chat. We'll talk.
Yeah. All right. So what you got on Houston at Jacksonville?
Oh, I got Jacksonville winning that game.
Yeah, it's no.
It's not really nothing even.
Yeah.
The Texans are in a rebuilding mode. I mean, besides Damian Pierce, maybe Nico Collins. All right, who we talking about here? I mean,
Yeah. I
it's like
It ain't even no question on that one.
right. CJ got this his year of getting his behind whooped, and then next year he'll be
Yeah,
a quarterback. He got to get beat up first.
right, right. I got you. All right, so we're gonna go move on to Indianapolis at the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm gonna take Baltimore because I don't think Anthony Richards playing again. I think he's still out with the
Out.
concussion.
Yeah, he's out.
What's it? Minshew is not beating the Baltimore Ravens. And are they in Baltimore?
Yeah, they're at Baltimore.
Oh no, no chance. No.
Let me.
Gardner Minshew goes into Baltimore and beats the Ravens, a healthy Ravens team. No.
Let me challenge you. We talk about Gardner Minshew. He got his name off. What he went like in Jacksonville? He won like the last 4 or 5 games. Against some pretty good teams. That's how you can't sleep on Gardner Minshew.
I'm sleeping on him in this Ravens game. I'm going to bed. You hear me? I'm getting the pillow and the blanket. I'm going to sleep on this.
I, I, all right. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I am gonna go Baltimore on that. You know what I mean? I do think Baltimore is the better team, and I think that
They gonna
Indiana.
have that man running for his life. They don't have no run game. They can't run the football right now.
They got a
That
solid.
they
They
gonna
got
tear them up.
they got a solid defense though.
They do. Yeah, they do. But I'm
I
trying to.
I don't think it's enough though. So I'm with you on that. Like I'm with you on that. Next game, Carolina at Seattle.
Mm,
Now,
that's a tough game. This is a tough game.
Bryce Young is out.
Who?
Bryce Young, he's out. I think he twisted his ankle Monday night, so he's out. He's not playing. I don't know who the backup quarterback is.
Bryce Young's out.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That changes everything. Um, I was going to say it's gonna be a tough game, but and they in Seattle, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, in Seattle.
Yeah, that's nothing. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go. And they 0-2. Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go Seahawks in that, man. If Bryce Young was playing, I would say it'd be a closer game, but nah.
Yeah, Bryce Young is out. Justin Houston, the linebacker, is questionable. Shaq Thompson is out. Obviously, he's towards ACL, I think, or Achilles, one of them. Um, so I don't know. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go with Seattle in that game. I think that Seattle is too tough.
Well, all right. So the backup for I'm looked it up. The backup for the Panthers is Andy Dalton.
Yeah, the red rifle. Yep, yep, yep.
That gun been around a bullet, so they done. They done.
All right, so you also are going Seattle.
I'm going to Seattle that game. Andy
Okay.
Dalton.
All
I
right.
mean, he may surprise us. Maybe he went and got. Maybe he went to the store and bought some more bullets. I don't know, but right now it don't look good.
Now I'm going Seattle in that game, man. I think Seattle's defense is going to show up, and I don't think the Red Rifle is going to relive the days of youth once he was in Seattle. So I mean Cincinnati. He's too old. I think the game, he's a good backup, but I just think that Seattle is going to be too tough of a place to win at, especially. So I got Seattle in that game too. All right, so we're gonna move on to Chicago at Kansas City.
I'm taking KC. You can't beat Kansas City and
Yeah,
KC.
I'm going KC too.
And what
KC.
Justin Field has shown so far, and he's fussing about the offense play calling right now, man. That team right now is having issues. I'm not even going to waste my breath and try to even do anything different right now until Chicago show me something. They don't beat Kansas City.
It's like when we was talking about offline that Chicago got to get coaches that want to coach Justin Fields, not look at it as, oh, we didn't draft him, so we don't want to coach him. You got to coach the players that's on your
He's
team.
a talented player. Anybody in the league will let it happen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's like you said, and you pointed out some things that I wasn't paying attention to as far as comparing him to Jalen Hurts. You know what I mean? If you got a talent, you got to be able to. You got to coach him. Like
Yes,
you
you,
can't
you
not
can't do that. You can't have it talking about this boy ain't this and he ain't that. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about here?
right. You're
This
hurting his
boy,
career.
this boy talented.
Yeah. So I'm going with Kansas City.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a no brainer.
Yeah. And this next one is a no brainer too. Dallas at Arizona. They lost Trayvon Diggs. But I still don't think that matters when you're going against an Arizona team. Like you can win the
No,
game, you know.
Arizona until Kyler Murray comes back, and even still with him coming back,
They're
Arizona's in a bad spot.
they're now. I don't know if you heard. They're talking about not playing him this year. Kyler Murray.
Oh, I did not hear that. I mean, it would make sense since he came out when he come off that bad knee injury, right?
Yeah, he tore his
Yeah,
AC.
I mean, I get that. If you let him heal,
They're actually.
especially if the season over. What's the point, right? I mean,
I think they're actually talking about if there's a market for him. After this year, they're trying to move on from him because obviously they paid him and they don't believe in him.
well,
But
he's another talent. I think he's another guy that needs to be coached.
yeah,
Like send him over to Sean Payton while he's still young. Give
that
Sean Payton like a Justin Fields or a Murray.
that was one of the teams, and the other team was surprisingly Dallas. If Dak was to have a 15 interception
Now
season.
I believe that until they traded for Trey Lance.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. I forgot about the Trey Lance. Yep,
Yeah, I would agree with you, but they just traded for
Trey Lance.
Trey
Yeah,
Lance. So yeah, so they want to try to coach up Trey Lance. He only 22 years old.
yeah, Trey Lance.
Still
Yeah,
can't believe the 49ers did that, man. I mean, Brock Purdy looks good. I don't know. Trey Lance is a talent, man. I
damn.
mean, my God.
Yeah, he's nice.
Yeah.
But all right, so we both got Dallas in that game. So we're going to go to the next game, Pittsburgh at the Las Vegas Raiders. That's a tough
Pittsburgh.
game,
That's a tough game to pick because they both not playing good football right now.
right? But I think
Um,
they're both equally talented. You know what I mean? They both
yeah.
have the same strengths. You know what I
I
mean?
would just say the Raiders don't have defense. They don't. They're horrible defense. They were horrible last year. They're horrible this year. Um, I got Pittsburgh winning that game.
You got Pittsburgh. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Vegas with that game. I think Devontae Adams has a monster game. Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacobs running that ball. I think they find a way. You know what? I don't like. I'm so glad that we didn't get him. I don't like Josh McDaniels as a coach. I think he's stuck in the old ways of what they used to do in New England, and I just don't see the progression that he provides for the team. Like when he had the Broncos, I mean they sucked. You know what I mean? And he was out of there. And I just don't think he's probably going to last long in a as a Raiders coach. I think they got a nice amount of talent on offense, but I don't like what he calls. I don't like what he does.
Okay. No, I can't argue that. You won't get no argument out of me from there. You
Okay.
won't get no argument out of me.
So you got Pittsburgh in that game. Okay.
Yeah, I got Pittsburgh in that game.
All right. So we're going to go on to our Monday night matchup: Philly at Tampa Bay.
Oh,
I'm
well,
going.
we picked that in the beginning. I got Philly.
Yeah. We picked that in the beginning. Philly too.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I think I think we get our rhythm back this game. That's all I'm gonna say. And then the other doubleheader on Monday night is the Rams at the Bengals.
Okay. Let me see. The Rams at the Bengals. Well, right now, Burrow is not healthy, and you could tell. The Rams are playing surprisingly inspired football.
Right,
I mean, they were in that game with the 49ers until they just ran out. I mean, they had nobody to really the talent showed itself in that
right.
game for a while. I don't know. This is a tough one, man. Darn. You know what? I'm gonna go with the underdog. I'm gonna go with the Rams.
I'm going Rams as well.
Oh, you going Rams? Okay.
Yeah, I believe because Joe Burrow I believe he's hurt. I don't think he's playing. He's at least a game time decision, but I don't think he's playing.
Even Jamar Chase said he'd rather him sit out until he's healthy.
Yeah, yeah,
Which makes sense. I mean,
yeah,
you out there really hurting the team.
yeah. And he didn't. He hasn't been looking good at all. So
No, he's still got the calf injury, man. You got to let that thing heal up. You can't in the NFL. It's the best players in the world, man. You can't get out there and half step. You either out there or you're not. You
right.
can't just be out there trying to get by because you want to be competitive. I get the fiery spirit. You want to show everybody you tough and all that. Okay, cool. But what's the old saying? You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah, yeah,
This is one of those folding moments.
yeah. I think so too. Especially if you're looking for the rest of the season, man.
Right. It's
You
so
gotta
early.
I'm gonna sit down now, get myself together. Hopefully, while I'm sitting down, we can do enough to win some games that it's not stressful or it's not a rush for me to get back. But you definitely got to sit down right now and
I
just try
think
to.
they can lose two more games and be okay. And the reason I say that is the type of team they have.
Yeah,
But I think they can win. I mean, because what happened is you would go with Joe Mixon. You would rely more on the run game a little bit, make it more simple, which
right.
is fine. They got the offensive line to do it. I just think that if he's smart, you sit down, get healthy, let this team run the football, play more conservative style, get yourself healthy, come back, then you start winning football games. I just think right now you're hurting the team. That's why I gotta go with the Rams, especially if they lose to the Rams with Burrow. That'd be crazy.
Right, right. I'm going. Like I said, Rams as well. I just don't think that I think that Cincinnati, like you said, is definitely built a good team. They can play football. They got a good running game. They got good receivers. Um, but like you said, the quarterback right now is that question. So I don't think they get it done this game. I'm going to go to Rams because, like you said, the Rams is playing inspired football.
Yes, and then they just traded Cam Akers. They got the boy K. Ryan Williams, the
Right.
Nuka Kapuka, that's his name, the wide receiver over
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah. He had like 20 or something receptions last week. I think he
He
said
is not playing.
yeah,
That boy, and he is not playing.
yeah.
So
He said something for receptions in the first game he's a rookie, right?
yeah,
Yeah. He said
he got the boy Tutu, the boy, other young boy, Tutu Atwell. So they playing some good football.
yeah. So we're gonna, we're gonna see what happens. And that was all the games for week 3.
Yes,
You know,
sir.
I want to give you a huge shout out, man. I know we had some technical difficulties, man, and
It
we
worked out though. It's all
but
good.
we got through the show, and I want to thank you for being part of my first stream on here on Top Shelf Sports Talk. If you guys are out there listening to me, please go out and give a follow to my man Tyrone at First and Goal Sports. Very, very knowledgeable about the game. Eagles fan. He threw it up there. He threw it out, put it out there that he won 2 fantasy football championships. I haven't won one yet, so I guess we know who the expert when it comes to that is.
Not like that.
But
I'm just hitting my stride right now. I'm just getting started.
I hear that. I hear ain't nothing wrong with that. But I appreciate you, man, for coming on, and I'm looking forward to getting on with you sometimes, and getting our platforms out there where they need to be, man. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you having me, man. Thank you.
All right, no problem, man. You enjoy the rest of your day. I'm gonna hit you in the inbox and talk about some of these games, and we're gonna go from there.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Have a good day.
All right, you too.
All right.